Just want to let you know, you can't see it because it's big, but I've got a dragon off screen, and she's very protective of me, and she wants you to hit the subscribe button. So, I don't know what you're gonna do about that, but she gets pretty angry when people don't hit that subscribe button. Anyway, I'm John Stark from Movieguy.com, and welcome for House of the Dragon, Episode 2, Season 1, Episode 2. Just in case anybody was confused, thinking that there might have been a previous House of the Dragon season. I am a blind film critic, so I don't get to talk about cool visual effects. However, I did read something really interesting that I will throw into this little recap review of mine that was from somebody in the industry who was talking about how the timelines that they're given now and how the effects, even the practical effects, are really suffering. And they talked about the difference between the original Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon, and how they used real hair for Daenerys, and now for the massive amount of Targaryens, they're using synthetic hair. And they explained the difference in how it reflects light, what synthetic hair does, and how it constantly needs to be brushed and maintained. And it's cheaper, but it doesn't necessarily create the same best experience. So I thought that was a fun fact. They are making things cheaper and quicker now so that they can get product out instead of worrying about the quality and the craftsmanship that goes into this work. So I guess that's what's happening. I mean, I can't see their wigs, but I do remember what Daenerys looked like. So anyway, in this episode was solid. I mean, this is an amazing show. It's amazing how 2 episodes in, and I feel like I'm back at home, like Game of Thrones style. Like, these people who are like, I need trigger warnings. I'm just like, why do you need a trigger warning? Why? It's Game of Thrones. That is your trigger warning. The fact that it's Game of Thrones is your trigger warning. I don't understand. I'm so confused. Like, what are we really in that place? Are we really, like, in that society? Like, if there's violence in like a Nightmare on Elm Street movie and something like that happens, you can be like, I need a trigger warning. It's like, it's a Nightmare on Elm Street film. That is your trigger warning. You know, like, what? I can't. I literally can't sometimes with people. All the people who are complaining online about the trigger warning because of the birth scene. It's like, I don't care how. I mean, yeah, I couldn't see it. It was described. I'm sure it was gory. It totally sounded gory. And I get that, you know, women have been through traumatic births before, but it's Game of Thrones, and you got to be ready for anything. And they kind of telegraphed where we were headed, and you knew that there was a birth coming. And it's Game of Thrones, and I spent the entire first episode just doing that Game of Thrones thing where I'm like, okay, none of these characters are safe. All of them could die at any moment. They're going to fake us out. They're going to kill somebody. They're going to kill somebody. Who's it going to be? Who's it going to be? Is it always going to be Daemon? Is it, you know? So, I mean, I was constantly on the lookout. If some casual viewer came in and was like, I'm just here to relax. This is just such a relaxing show about dragons. It's like How to Train Your Dragon. And then they got that, then, I mean, that's on you for not doing research. So I feel zero pity for that. Zero. Second episode, not so much. Not so terrible, not so gory. I still like it. I still think it's great. It's advancing all of the characters. It's advancing. You can see where the wheels are turning, where the plot is moving forward. We did jump a little bit in terms of timeline, so we're not immediately after the Queen's death. So we are a little bit away from that, and everybody is sort of mourning and moving on, and King's supposed to get remarried, and it was so creepy. Oh my god, I'm so happy. I was like, I want to like this guy. He seems like he's a nice king. But if he marries this fucking 12-year-old girl, I don't care what time period it's set in. Stop marrying people who are younger than your own children, just in general, in life. Maybe I just offended one of my viewers. I don't know, but yeah, if they're younger than your own kids, probably not the person for you. So, or if they went to school with your kids, that's another thing. Just like a little warning for future parent-child relationships. Will make Thanksgiving awkward. Like, oh, remember what class we had together back in high school? Yes, I do. Yeah, so luckily the 12-year-old girl was not exploited. Thank God. I mean, it's Game of Thrones. I was like, oh my God, are we doing child bride stuff in the season? But although, I will say, I'm not really sure the other girl's much older, but she is older. So, hey, there's something. So there's some hope. I don't know how old that actress is, but in my mind, I'm just going to say old enough. Consent age for whatever Game of Thrones' consent age would be. But there's a clear age difference between that girl and the 12-year-old potential child bride. So I think it starts to set up who's good and who's bad. And by him being able to make that choice and choose not the 12-year-old, it keeps him on the hero path, while the parents, who obviously want to usurp and have power, I don't know that it puts them on the hero path. So as we continue to root for characters, I don't know if anybody's rooting for Daemon, but I would be deeply concerned by anybody rooting for Daemon at this point. They haven't really set him up to be anything but the villain of the series at this point. So we shall see. I think it's a great show. I think this is one of those shows like Better Call Saul that actually stands next to the original. Actually has potential. I think House of the Dragon right now has all the potential in the world to be Game of Thrones. To actually, especially considering Game of Thrones at the end there left a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths. So, like, people remember Game of Thrones, but they remember it also with the ending. So, if House of Dragon can run and then stick the landing, yeah. I mean, it's got to keep up that quality for a couple seasons. I get that, for a couple years, but it's possible at this rate. Anyway, big fan of the show so far, so I hope you are too. I'm going to keep coming back and talking about it. Crab Guy sounds crazy. I mean, like, what a villain, right? Like, a guy that, like, could only be devised. So I'm excited to see where that goes, as I am really everything in this universe, just where everything goes. It's got an interesting cast. I keep trying to figure out, I haven't looked up the cast to try to match actors' names to faces because I keep trying to listen to their voices. I haven't found Rhys Ifans yet. I feel like I've heard his voice enough that I should recognize it. Don't tell me which character he is. I'm still trying to figure it out. I'm still trying to see if I can match his voice. I like to match voices as a blind person with the actors I used to know. I feel like I've seen him in enough things that I should be able to pull his voice out, but he's doing a good job of hiding in the first 2 episodes. So, otherwise, yeah, I figured out who everybody else is. Of the recognizable cast, anyway. That's it for me. I'm just talking at this point. So I'm going to give this episode grade an A. And hope you come back and spend more time with me on House of the Dragon. And please don't steal any dragon eggs. We don't want to have to send the dragon riders after you. Let me know what you think in the comments, and please like and subscribe. You can visit my website, macthemovieguy.com. You can go to the audio description project, adp.acb.org, and it will let you know what has audio description, on what service, and where you can watch it, all that kind of stuff. And the ANA.org, it's like IMDb for people who do audio description. So give it a check out and see what these people are up to, and see what other things they've described, and sound engineers and stuff like that. That's going to be it for me today. I got to go watch and review something else, and I will see you on the other side.